Mālō lelei, mālō malie, kia ora tātou katoa, warm Pacific greetings to you all. We've now come to the close of Tonga Language Week 2020. It's been an amazing week of learning and celebrating the Tongan language and culture, and I want to make a few acknowledgements as we conclude. I'd like to recognise and thank the Honourable Lupepau Tuita Taione, patron of the Tonga Language Week and Year. I also recognise Dr. Linita Manuatu, Chair of the Tongan Language Year Committee and the New Zealand Tongan Tertiary Student Association. And I especially want to thank Her Excellency Ms. Tiffany Babington, New Zealand's High Commissioner to Tonga, Mālō Aupito, and thank you for your ongoing leadership and tireless effort in support of our Tongan language. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the Christchurch Tonga Youth and Kosipeli Parish for launching this week's online events and activities. I loved your beautiful singing and messages, and thank you for your work and the preparation that you put into this week's activities. Last but not least, I want to thank all of the church groups, schools, government agencies and community organisations for their hard work delivering an incredible range of digital activities and events this past week, which has made this year's Tongan Language Week such a success. Aotearoa New Zealand and Tonga have a long history together. This year we also celebrate 50 years of diplomatic relations. We've also been defence partners in Polynesia dating back to World War I, when Tongans served in the Māori and regular battalions in the New Zealand Army. Of course, our relationship extends beyond defence. We have shared interest in the care and support of the peoples and ecosystems of the Pacific. We work together and support each other on a range of issues in the Pacific Island Forum and also at the United Nations level. It is to our mutual benefit that our countries continue to ensure the future of the cultures and heritage of the vast blue Pacific continent continues to thrive. Our Pacific languages and cultures are a vital link between our place in Aotearoa New Zealand and our heritage as peoples of the Pacific region. They play an essential part in our individual and community health and well-being. The different activities and events from this week have taught us of the deep spiritual strength which lays at the foundation of the traditions, culture and language of the peoples of Tonga. That spiritual strength underpins so much of what we do as a collective. The Tonga Language Week program has engaged families from right across Aotearoa New Zealand, even as far away as Stewart Island, where the Half Moon Bay School in Oban celebrated its first Pacific Language Week. I want to say well done to the teachers and students of Half Moon Bay School for your support. This participation with the program across our nation shows just how important language and culture is to all of us, no matter where we're from or where we live. COVID-19 has challenged us as a community, compelling us to stay in our own bubbles and limiting our contact with family and friends to keep us all safe and healthy. But it has also given us the opportunity to refocus on the importance of our families, both near and far, and it has reminded us to treasure our heritage, cultures and languages. Furthermore, it has also opened the door for us to embrace a whole new digital world with new technologies and platforms to connect on that many of us weren't aware of before. I would like our Pacific communities to take full advantage of all this technology, online platforms and innovation. I have asked the Ministry for Pacific Peoples to work with you and support your efforts to fully embrace technology and establish Pacific people's enduring presence in the digital economy. And as we explore these different horizons and opportunities, our Pacific cultural values and languages will always be the key to nurturing and supporting our Pacific communities. While we now conclude the activities for Tonga Language Week 2020, it does not mean that the opportunity to learn and appreciate the language and culture has to end. Let's all renew our commitment to value our Pacific languages. Let's find new ways as Pacific Aotearoa to nurture, use and share what we have learnt over this past week with our families and friends. Let us also find ways to show our children how to respect and love not only our own Pacific languages, but also that every community deserves respect and love for their own languages and cultures. Lewe lewe e malanga kai tau atu. Mālō Aupito, o whātu. Stay safe. Thank you.